Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. My name is Sarah and I'm the host of today's episode. I have a very special guest with me today and she is none other than my best friend and my first friend from Canada, Tasmin Zareen Chowdhury.
Hi.
So Taz, we're just going to jump straight into the interview. Tell us a bit about yourself.
So, I was born and raised in Dhaka, Bangladesh. I am the oldest daughter and the only daughter in my family. I have two younger brothers. And I was brought up in a very loving home. I have extremely supportive parents, but they were moderately strict at the same time. So growing up in that kind of environment and that kind of dynamic was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I can totally relate. I grew up with protective parents as well, so I totally understand where you're coming from. And I think it's really common in Asian culture for parents to be strict.
Yeah, but you know what, Sarah? Now that I'm a fully functioning adult, I kind of understand where they're coming from. And they were just trying to look out for us because at the end of the day, they just truly and genuinely want what's best for us. So I kind of understand their perspective now.
Yeah, I agree. So, tell us a bit about your journey and struggles.
To be honest with you, Sarah, I wouldn't say my journey was difficult, but I would not say that it was easy either. I have had my fair share of ups and downs. But what matters at the end of the day is the fact that I'm here now.
So, what kind of struggles did you face as an international student trying to navigate her life in Canada?
So the first issue was my dad being completely against the idea of sending me abroad all alone, all by myself. I grew up Muslim, so there are a lot of restrictions and a lot of boundaries that we cannot cross. But I knew deep down that my home country just did not have the resources to match my ambition level. Hopefully one day it will for the future generation, but just not right now.
I see. Well, for me, the main reason why I left Singapore was simply because I wanted to experience life outside my home country. And now I realize that being in my 20s, I feel like I should be getting out of my comfort zone and just living life. So, what else did you struggle with?
So, education abroad is so expensive for us international students, and I'm sure you can relate as well. My tuition fees were close to 35,000 Canadian dollars, but because of my scholarship, I only pay around 20,000 now.
That's almost a 40% reduction.
Yeah.
Crazy. So, now my next questions will be about debunking some myths and realities. There is a misconception that you need straight A's to get accepted by universities abroad. To what extent is that true?
So I'll tell you a little bit about my personal experience. I was a pretty average student in high school. I was not a straight A student, but one thing that I had was tons of extracurricular activities. And that is something that a lot of universities look for in applicants. I'm not saying grades don't matter. All I'm trying to say is having extracurricular activities on the side will make the process so much easier and will give you an advantage over others, and it will also increase your chances for a scholarship.
Totally agree. Like if you ask me if grades matter, at the end of the day I would say yes. But I'm also going to say that extracurricular activities are equally important, and that's also what helped me secure my entrance scholarship, even though I didn't get straight A's.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you how you were able to do your visa application?
I had some help with my application actually. I managed to get my visa in a span of a week, just 1 week. And all thanks to Quicksand Immigration Consultancy. They helped me with the whole documentation and application procedure. And from my experience with them, I think they're just extremely reliable.
Well, I can compare that to what I've experienced during my application process without consultancy, and I can really see the difference. To be honest, my first application actually got rejected, and it took me a whole month to get my visa after submitting my second application. And that really caused me to defer to the next semester because it just took so much time, and I actually missed my first 2 weeks of university. I think having a consultancy definitely helps with the application process. What else can they help in?
So they helped me with my university selection, university application, scholarship application, visa application. In addition to that, they also helped me with my financial documents, bank statements, sponsorship files, and they also helped me with my scholarship essays and statement of purpose. Long story short, they just made the whole process so much easier. Oh, and they also helped me with my IELTS preparation and registration.
That's great. Well, do they provide any other immigration-related services apart from student visas?
Yeah, they also do schooling visas, startup visas, and lastly, tourist visas. Actually, fun fact, my dad is coming on the 23rd of this month. I am so excited to see him, all thanks to Quicksand Immigration Consultancy for making this possible, for helping a daughter reunite with her father.
That's really, really sweet. All right, that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who decided to join in on this podcast. If you're also trying to start a new chapter in a new country, contact Quicksand Immigration Consultancy.